Good morning, this is Heather from Gemini Red Creations, and I'm going to show you a few tips to monogramming sandals. So, as you see here, I actually have a Durkee EZ frame. I am using the 3x4. What I have found to be very helpful is on the back, underneath here, I'm using double stick tape, and then I just reinforce the end and the top with some Floriani tape that I've purchased that's reusable, depending on where you use it. Excuse me. So what I do is I first find the center of the frame on my machine. So I have a Janome MB4S. When I slide this into the machine, my center isn't where these notches are because of the sewing field on the MB4S. So I find the center and I just draw down the middle here and then across the center of where it's going to stitch on this particular frame. So then what I do is I take my sandal and I find the center of my sandal and place it on my tearaway stabilizer, and I trace the outline of the sandal top and bottom, top and sides. So you'll see I've got my sides and my top. I do the same on my printout of the monogram. So in this case I actually ended up doing a larger monogram just to widen it and make it just a little bit taller. So what I do is I place the sandal on here. I use this Floriani tape. I tape the sides here and here, and then sometimes as needed I will tape down at the bottom of the V right here, like onto the frame itself. It's not always necessary. And as you see, the sandal actually will lay on the arm of the hoop. This part is the part that slides into your machine. So when you're doing the left or right sandal, it'll either lay on this side or the other side of the arm. So once the first one is done stitching, I carefully tear it off so that all I have is just this center opening right here, and I leave the original piece in my hoop. It's still, a good piece of stabilizer. Then I take a leftover piece of tearaway from another project. I just tear off a piece that's big enough to fit where I stitched. And even though it's not tight in the frame or taped to the frame, once I put my second sandal down, it holds it in place just fine. And I do that so I can use the exact same trace outline that I used for the one before to fit this in. So I put my little piece of tearaway there. I put my second sandal down, and then I once again tape it, slide it onto the frame, and it stitches out just fine. Now I will say, depending on your machine and depending on the material, I do slow this down, and especially for the sandals, I slow it down a lot of times to the very slowest speed. I'm not in a hurry. They're not a huge design, so I actually did 6 sandals last night in about an hour, hour and a half. Just, getting it all set up, changing thread colors, changing needles. It is good to have a nice brand new sharp needle on this faux leather because it's, 2-ply, so you've got a front and a back here, and just so that it comes out as crisp as possible with your stitching. So depending on the size frames you have, fast frame, Durkee EZ frame, same initial setup. I do think that having a narrower frame is the easiest, because then you're not putting a lot of stress on your sandal. As you can see, this gets a little bend in it, and you just don't want any permanent creasing or discoloration from it bending, like, you know, sometimes leather or faux leather will do. So that's it, pretty simple. I will say these are about 1.25 inches on some of my monograms, or like 1.15 inches, whatever that equates to, by just around 2 inches here, I believe. So let me know if you have any questions, and happy sewing.